28 years later, The Bone Temple was a step forward in the right direction in every way. I really liked the first 28 years later. I did think that it suffered from some questionably jarring editing choices and also some pacing and structural issues. However, this sequel is so much better. So much better. This really feels like more of a full and complete work than the first movie did. This one focuses on Ray Fiennes' character, Dr. Kelson, who we briefly met there at the end of the first movie. And prior to what you might think, this is not a flashback. This is a direct sequel of what happened at the end of the last movie. So of course we have these guys. Trust me, I was very thrown off by this ending of 28 years later when these evangelical Power Ranger looking people just came out of nowhere. I was like, what the heck was that? But trust me, after you see this movie, you will look at that scene much differently. Jack O'Connell gave one of the most terrifying performances in Sinners last year, and he gives another one right off the bat in 2026, right here. Them changing directors for the second movie was a bold move, but one that works very well. Nia Dacosta is one of the most talented up-and-coming filmmakers of recent years, and she cooks with this film. She cooks. The vibe and the tone of this movie are just a lot different than that first one was. This movie sits you down and has a conversation with you, face to face, for 2 hours, and don't rely on cheap gimmicks and jump scares all the time. What this film manages to do so effectively well is to move the story forward with new elements and some things we haven't seen and ideas, while still honoring and even improving on some of the stuff that was set up for us in 28 years later that remains prevalent with the rest of the franchise. This movie also just ramps up the violence and the shock factor. It was a lot more up than I thought it was going to be at certain parts, but at the same time is surprisingly more heartfelt than you would ever think it would be. A revelation is made in this movie that makes it bittersweet if you've been watching these films all the way back from the original, and it's like a payoff for all the hours you've put into watching this franchise and where it's going. So if you didn't like 28 years later or were a little indifferent towards it, give this one a shot. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. This movie is truly everything that the first one should have been. The final scene and the setup for the next movie have me very excited as well.